Kita mulalah kan? Boleh? Okay, Assalamualaikum, selamat pagi dan salam sejahtera semua. Terima kasih kepada semua peserta yang dapat hadir pada hari ini. Khusus kita Machine Learning for Precision Aquaculture. So pada pagi ini kita ada peserta daripada Jabatan Perikanan Sabah, ada wakil. Kita ada daripada Yanmar juga, kan? Yanmar ayo. So selebihnya adalah pelajar PhD di PMJ lah. So penceramah kita pada pagi ni adalah Profesor Dr. Alfred. Profesor Dr. Rainer Alfred, dia adalah pengarah di Pusat Pendidikan Kecerdasan Mesin Lanjutan Kreatif Fakulti Komputeran dan Informatik UMS. Okay, tanpa membuang masa, kita persilakan Profesor untuk menyampaikan khusus pada pagi ni.
Okey. Terima kasih. Apa nama tu?
Najamudin.
Najamudin.
Ya,
Pendek?
Naja.
Naja.
Ya.
So, a very good morning. So, welcome to machine learning seminar. I can see some of you can have a laptop, some other notebook. Okay. I know that all of you not familiar with programming, but I need to know your background so that I can synchronize my explanation, how to explain the training today. So for the ice breaking, just introduce your name and also your role and also your jabatan. Okay, so okay. No, mana question?
Hi, good morning. Dr. Rainer dan semuanya. Nama saya Helena and I'm from the Department of Fisheries Sabah, doing research.
Research.
Thank you.
R&D.
R&D.
Your special area?
Population genetics.
Population development.
Morning everyone, nama saya Leslie Gerard, sama juga dari Jabatan Perikanan. So my background is marine science lah. Saya adalah alumni UMS juga tahun 2020. So my background is marine science lah.
Tapan sudah lah.
Ya, boleh.
Tapan sudah. Ini kerja apa?
Ya.
Dia bukan kontrak lah.
Bukan.
Dia full time.
Ya, Assalamualaikum, selamat pagi semua. Nama saya Najamudin. Saya Research Officer di IPLB dan saya punya kerja di pada pengurusan pendidikan.
Okay.
Ada buat pasal aquaculture juga.
So you studying on solar?
Tidak
You ngurus saja lah.
jadi pengurus dan ada certain yang kita bantu secara
So untuk enhancement of your personal training, you ada berapa lagi?
pertolongan. Tapi tertarik dengan AI kita betul.
Okay.
Lebih pada kita punya
Yeah.
pengurusan aquaculture.
Okay.
Hello, my name is Xin Yao. Actually, my background is agriculture, so graduated from here also many years ago. And now I'm working in Myanmar. The office is in PIP there.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then my work also focus more in agriculture. So now my project more to market survey and maybe will involve in product development. So that's why I want to come study for you.
Myanmar is
Yeah.
from Myanmar, Burma, eh?
No. From Japan.
Private company.
Private company.
Hai, saya Syira. Saya student PhD sini. Student aquaculture.
Okay. So you specialize in any topic?
Rice system.
Okay. Garuda.
Kerap.
Oh, kerap.
My background ini is one topic. Saya PhD student kat sini. Field aquaculture.
Aquaculture lah. Ini berapa lama lagi habis? Ini final year lah.
Baru first year.
Oh, first year. Ini?
First year juga.
Oh, first year. First semester lah.
Second semester.
Oh, second semester. Okay. All the best.
Hi everyone, I'm David. I'm a PhD student in IMB here. I'm doing aquaculture, focusing on fish behavior monitoring.
Okay. Then here already.
This is my final year.
So finally. Okay. So, who's your supervisor?
You are my co-supervisor.
Me? Oh,
Co-supervisor.
and not publish paper, huh?
Huh?
You just publish paper.
Yeah.
You don't want, huh?
Yes.
Yeah.
Hi everyone, my name is Darren Dinte, student PhD also here, marine biology student. My background, my background mostly in gut microbiome and bioinformatics.
This one.
Yeah, my background is in gut microbiome and bioinformatics.
Okay.
That's it.
First year.
First year student.
Okay. Up to what you know. Okay.
Hi everyone, I'm Deepak Ganesh. My background is mostly bioinformatics.
Bioinformatics.
Yes.
Your degree dulu?
Degree is microbiology chemistry.
Okay.
So I'm a PhD student. So my discipline focuses on multi-omics investigation of human responses to disease caused by
Okay. So, first year also?
Yes.
Oh, you're right, right. First year. Okay.
Hi, good morning. I am Fasrina. I am a lecturer here. And currently I'm
Oh, I know you last time you brought us kan jalan-jalan kan sana
di mana tuh?
di
Italy kan?
sini kan
Di mana?
di kolam tuh.
Di bawah tuh kan?
Ya, di bawah.
Iya, iya. Saya lecturing manager di sana lah.
Ya, ya, I remember. Okay. So berapa tahun sudah di UMS?
Saya dari undergrad
Oh, sampai
sampai
sekarang
habis PhD
you are one of the alumni.
alumni.
Alumni. Okay. Tahun bilang
Apa tuh?
graduate
Graduate PhD 2019.
2019.
Saya baru di sini
6 tahun lah.
21 kan?
Oh, 4 years lah. Okay. Ya.
Nama saya Bon.
Bon.
Iya Bon.
Okay.
Saya lab assistant.
Lab assistant. Okay. So, you punya degree dulu?
Saya tidak di.
Tidak.
Tidak di.
Benar lah.
Belum.
Diploma?
Ya, saya dengar sejak.
Oh, tidak tidak. Okay. Nah, lalu dapat ID ya. Okay. So, I know most of you mungkin not having enough background untuk this topic, but I will try to make it as simple as possible. So our task today is I will introduce you machine learning because you have your own background, right? So my task is to convince you to use machine learning in your research because what I can see that we in ICT need to collaborate with you. You also need to collaborate with us, right? Okay. So my task today is just to show you some simple way on how to do modeling and then how do you capture data. The capturing of data using IoT will be handled by my assistant, Mr. Lee Rentin. Okay. He will come today later on, and tomorrow I will continue with part 2 and assist my Dr. Reina Paulus also. Okay, so he will be handling on how to use computer vision to detect abnormal disease or something like that. Okay, so he's more on computer vision. Okay, this is my background. I've graduated from York, England in 2008, and lepas SPM, I just continue my degree in computer science in New York and then sambung in Michigan. So what made me come into this university is that when I left graduate in master in computer science. I work in many industry and also in education. But I joined UMS because I feel that I have more time to do research, and also you can enhance your knowledge by looking into new things, new technical things. Because dulu when I work as an assistant analyst. So assistant analyst they do routine routine work. You go to the site, you do inspection for the problems, macam dia customer service lah. So for me, I said okay, I feel bored, so I've been teaching to in many institute like UITM, Informatics, Institute Knowledge, UITM, UMS part-time. So my earning for part-time is more than my full-time at one of the company, which is Jabatan Air lah. Okay? So I left Jabatan Air, then I joined UMS because I can see that more career development that I can have here in UMS. So good choice. You are in the R&D. Even if you are in a company, you can take a loan, collaborate with us, and when I so I joined many innovation from the island from my colleague in Korea, in Japan, in Korea, Germany, in Canada, and mostly in Malaysia, Altec, Tercipta. So some of you yang doing your PhD, you soon will have to go through this process where you need to exhibit your product. Okay? And of course you need to do publication, those yang got PhD too. And some of my students now member of faculty of FKI. Okay? So now I'm also the board of director for MIMOS, giving advice to the R&D entity in West Malaysia. So they're doing more into AI, renewable energy, and many more, especially in green and blue economy. Now in Sabah we are famous with blue economy, right? So everybody wants to do blue economy. So jabatan pimpinan ini dia sibuk kan? Banyak aktiviti kan? Hah?
Ada juga.
SMJ yang lebih banyak. Okay. So the course synopsis, you will learn in-depth knowledge about machine learning, how to use machine learning, and also my friend will introduce how do you capture the data from environment using IoT and sensor, because with the data you can do modeling and get more information, how do you optimize your production. Okay? And one of my colleagues also will talk about how to use image analysis to do modeling or to know some better. So these are the three main components. Data modeling using machine learning, how do you capture, and then how do you analyze the image. Okay? And of course, you will have some hands-on, but if you do not have any laptop, it's okay. I will show you what it will looks like when you do modeling and what is the output and what can you get from the output. Okay? Because 2 days seminar is too short for 20 years of work. Yeah? So the course learning outcome, the first thing that you need to get is once you finish the training, you should be able to know, okay, this is what people talk about when they say machine learning. So some people they say AI, machine learning, but they do not know what is machine learning, what is AI. Okay, so today you will learn more about machine learning, and then you can talk to your friend. Machine learning can be applied in your area as well. You also learn how to capture data from the sensor. you also learn how to develop the model. So if you have the data, what kind of modeling that you can do? So easier for you to get something from your data, especially yang buat PhD ni lah. Because in PhD you need to come up with a framework that enable you to extract new knowledge for you to present, right? Or maybe a way to investigate certain abnormal behavior or detect new disease, okay, using machine learning. So you have all the data, but you need to learn how to get this thing done. And last one is, I will also, tomorrow I will cover the deep learning technique on how do you use neural network. Because in machine learning we have two parts. One is yang biasa saja, and di bawah itu ada lagi subset of machine learning which is deep learning. So they use neural network or more complicated neural network to analyze your data. Okay, the first session today, this is morning session. So morning session, I will go through some of the basic machine learning and show you how to use machine learning to do modeling. So very straightforward. You have this data. What is your task? You want to forecast, or you want to predict, or you want to classify? So there are a few type of tasks that you want to do. Because when we talk about AI or machine learning, it depends on what task you want to do. You want to forecast, you want to predict, or you want to classify, or you want to do cluster. Okay? And the second part, later on my friend will cover that one. And tomorrow, we will cover deep learning. Deep learning is a subset of machine learning. How do you apply neural network for advanced analysis? Okay? I know that you are not familiar with programming, but I want you to know that there exist some tools that you can use to do modeling, and we can assist you. Okay? Okay, why do you need to learn machine learning? Everybody talk about AI, right? So famous. Even menteri-menteri pun, even yang baru-baru tu, they mentioned that they want to use AI for the road maintenance, right? Baru saja keluar kan? And everybody want to claim that okay, they want to have this center, that center, and so on. But we do not have enough people to run, to execute the project. So that's why even in our faculty also, most of our postgraduate students yang AI itu kan, once they keluar, then they terus dapat kerja. Tiada yang tunggu-tunggu lagi. So for you guys to leverage this, you need to learn more about AI, machine learning in general. How do you use them in order to get more competitive product of your research? Okay? So we work with pharma. We collect data and we forecast the agro-food consumption and production for the whole Malaysia. So what you can do, you can get the input from all the sensor, and then once you get all the input, you can do some modeling. So it depends on what you want to predict or what you want to classify. You have to do some data pre-processing, and then you can deliver the output to your stakeholder. We also do some machine learning in healthcare, especially in medical imaging, disease identification, and disease prediction. So everybody is using AI now, and the benefit of AI in education now, people use ChatGPT, people use DeepSeek, right? So you punya supervisor allow you to use DeepSeek or Copilot? Benar kan? No? Saya benarkan my student, but my question to them is be more creative in what you want to query, right? Because the DeepSeek or the Copilot enhance the how cepat you belajar. Because you don't have to wait for us to tell you. You can ask any question regarding your topic. Okay, so we also do this to aquaculture. We're working with SMJ. We are proposing more into harvest prediction, feeding optimization, water quality management, and remote monitoring. There are many tasks lagi lah dalam. So you have sensor, you have image time series, and then what are the things that you can do in order to enhance your production, especially in disease management. Okay. Okay, now this is the basic learning outcome that you need to know. What is machine learning? Okay. So I start this using this framework because when we talk about machine learning, people also talk about AI, talk about data mining, business intelligence, and knowledge discovery. Okay? So how do I define machine learning? First, I need to define what is machine learning. So machine learning is just a program. So we, as a programmer, we develop a program to detect frequent pattern in your data and then try to extract that knowledge. So machine learning is just a program. Okay? Program ataupun software that we customize to learn data. Okay? So they are based on statistics. Because statistics, they are compute the frequency, or they look at the how similar one data to the other data. What else? They look at the descriptive statistics of your data. Okay? So based on that, they will support the program. Okay? So machine learning use statistics. In some area, data mining is also used. Data mining is you extract frequent pattern from your data. So that means you're mining data means you get something from your data. Okay? For you to extract the pattern, you need to use machine learning, which is the program. Okay? So when people talk about data mining, actually they say they want to use the machine learning that apply statistics to extract new knowledge. So in your case, you have your data. So when you say you want to do data mining, you want to extract frequent pattern using machine learning that apply statistics. Okay? So you need to be able to apply the word or the term correctly. And also we do have this AI. So what is the relation between AI and machine learning? AI is a systematic study on human intelligence. For example, how do we perceive vision? How do we express our thought using natural language processing? Okay. This is a bigger topic, and machine learning is the lower. So AI is just a study on how do we copy human intelligence into the machine. Okay. Okay, business intelligence is another term that used in economy. So in Faculty of Finance and Economy, they use business intelligence. They use AI in order to be more competitive in terms of marketing. How do you serve the customer, and many more. So that is another term used in financial world. Okay. And business intelligence, they use data mining, and lastly the knowledge discovery. So this is what the PhD student need to know. Okay, so you have something that you want to extract or discover new knowledge from your data set or from your problem set, right? So this new knowledge discovery will become a novelty of your work, and they will question the validity of your data, what tools you want to use, and how do you validate the finding. These three components. So in first year, you are in the completing your C review, or sudah habis first semester? Huh? I mean, for me, first semester, one semester tidak cukup. For me, it took me 3 years. 3 years baru I found the gap to be solved and the idea. So just imagine that 1 tahun saja, I need to complete everything. Because yang 3 tahun ni honeymoon. You think that you found already the finding, and what is so unique about your finding, that is what you want to validate. Yeah. So this is the process of knowledge discovery. So of course you need to know what is the objective. What is your objective when you want to apply machine learning? You want to solve certain problem, or you want to increase productivity, or you want to find new way to solve popular problem. Okay. Next, you need to understand what kind of data that you want to collect. So this is very important, because when you find the type of data or a collection of data that you want to analyze, people will query, where do you get the data from? Is this first-hand data or second-hand data? Okay? And then once you get the data, you need to prepare, and then this is what we will learn today, data modeling. Okay? I will provide you a simple data set. Then, based on the data set, we will say, okay, we want to estimate the weight of the fish, or you want to classify new unseen data, type of fish that we have. So given that we have background knowledge is any data that we have from history. Based on the history data, we say that when we have new data, we can classify the fish, the type of fish, or we can estimate the weight of the fish based on our existing data that we have. But you need to train first. Okay, then once you do the modeling, of course there are banyak setting, then you need to evaluate them, then you can deploy. So the whole thing is the process of finding new knowledge discovery. Okay, so in Prikanan, what type of data do you have?
Culture.
Yeah.
Ada data dia punya makanan, grow.
Okay. How do you collect the data?
So basically kami every month kami akan kira secara manual lah, berikan kira dan kami panjang dia punya weight lah, dia punya weight, dia punya length, dia punya survival rate,
The weight and the length of the fish.
Yeah.
Okay.
Dan semua itu kami buat secara manual.
Jumlah makanan pun, kan?
Ya.
So you have a fixed feeding program.
Not program lah, kami buat secara manual.
No, I mean feeding program, feeding schedule.
Ya.
Ya.
And berapa banyak, and you have the growth tu lah over time,
Ya.
across time kan. And then how do you optimize the pemakanan? Jadi adjustment lah, just fix.
Kami macam every 2 weeks kami akan bagi makanan 5% untuk berantai ikan lah. So kami akan update 5% every 2 weeks.
Okay. Kalau ada supervisor bilang, why 5%, why not 6%?
So basically ini kami from future review lah.
so based on your reading.
This one our research lah.
So that is good data. If we have a complete data, we can do many things. Because this is time series growth, then we can optimize the pemakanan too, and also the other factor like the water quality also. Water quality too.
Quality pun kami
Ya,
collect
ya.
juga ya.
Okay. So very good. So what is big data? So big data ni we can define in terms of volume. So berapa banyak data you have? Mungkin sikit saja lah, because there's some text on it. So
Sekarang baru on early stage lah,
Early
baru
stage.
dalam proses untuk kumpul data.
So big data can be defined based on volume, variety. Variety means images, audio, video, text, database, and also we have velocity. This is data from sensor. So keep coming. How do you analyze data that is always keep coming? And also the value. Some data are more expensive because you only can capture at certain time. So if you miss, then you have to wait another second. So that is what we call value. Veracity means some data is valid when you want to make the addition. Contohnya kalau untuk tukar duitan, you will not use the exchange rate of the past. You need to use the exchange rate at the moment. So veracity refer to how valid is your data at the current point. Okay. So these five define the big data. Okay. And of course, you have the data. You need to learn about this. How do you manipulate the data in order to produce intelligent pictures? So the domain model coming from aquaculture. Okay, so we could have from healthcare ataupun agriculture, but your domain is aquaculture. And these are the things that you can do. You can do predictive, descriptive, clustering, forecasting, and many. What you have at the moment is only data. But what you want to try to solve is another issue. So using machine learning, you can solve your problem. Okay? Contohnya, you want to predict the growth of certain species across time. And you can adjust the feeding program so that dia membesar lebih cepat dan dipendekkan daripada banyak masa. Ataupun you kasih makan banyak, tapi to ikan cepat mati. The lifespan is shorter. Okay? So that's all of those things you can expect from the data, but you need to do some data collection. Okay? So when we talk about AI, we are talking about reasoning. So all of us know how to do reasoning. Okay? How to express our thought using natural language processing, and then planning in our mind what is the next task that we want to do. Okay? So when they say artificial intelligence, they want to put all these capabilities into the machine. The machine should be able to do some reasoning based on the input, how to do planning, and how to express the knowledge back to us. So that's why they said, kecuali satu, dia tidak emotion. Now they are putting emotion into AI. Kan? Dia ada baca Elon Musk buying semua this thing. They want to put emotion into the machine. Okay, so machine learning is under AI. So these are the tasks that we will learn. So what you will be learning will be supervised learning. Supervised means you will be able to forecast, predict, classify. Now this one similar but more complex. Because this one is using neural network. This one is just using normal machine learning algorithms. This one is segmentation clustering. So this is normally used by financial people who clustering, customer segmentation, and then, but you can also use this one. Reinforced learning is another advanced step in which you learn from the past. Okay, for example, you do modeling today, you learn something, you use whatever you learn today for the next step. So that means you reinforce your learning based on the previous knowledge. But we will learn this usage a lot, okay, due to time constraint. And also you don't have to know all, you just have to learn what you need to know. Okay, so ini contohnya. So for supervised learning, you can predict the housing punya price, or you can look at the type of disease based on your image. For unsupervised customer segmentation, market basket analysis, this is more into clustering, more on segmentation, or more into finding the association between two items. Contohnya you buy milk, at the same time you buy beer, stress. Okay? You jaga anak, you buy beer lah, or buy coke. Okay? So this is market basket analysis, more into financial. Semi-supervised, when you have label data and unlabeled data at the same time. The most important feature for this one is they must have label. The class label, contohnya on and off, ataupun disease, non disease. So that is label. So using that, then you can be able to classify. But this one, if you have mixed data, label and unlabeled data, you combine together. We will look into that one first, then you know how to differentiate. Okay, this one is reinforced learning, like you use whatever you learned before in order to make use of the previous knowledge to learn new things. Yeah, like shifting your knowledge from yesterday and today. Okay, so today I will cover this area, classification and regression. This one I will not cover, so you know that, okay? So I will cover these two. But if you want, if you have some requirement to do clustering or association, I can cover very quickly. Maybe tomorrow I can just add in some of the example for clustering. Okay. So, okay, the most important part in supervised learning is you must have the data, right? So you have the data here, then you have the model. Remember that what is machine learning? There's a program, right? So you have your data and you feed into your program. Your program must be able to know the column, how many columns you have, what type of data you have, then your machine learning would be able to understand. So based on your machine learning algorithm, then what you need to do is you train them based on this data. So once you get new input, then your machine will tell you the prediction. So meaning that in supervised you have 3 stages: data collection, then you train your model, then you do the prediction. Your data, you train us, then you predict, then you have the value. Okay? So for example, like this. This is 2 class classification, positive and negative. Okay? So to draw a line that separates this positive and negative, you need to have this equation in which your income must be greater than delta y, and then your saving must be greater than delta 2. So that means this is the equation that will separate these two. But this is what we call linear problem. Linear problem can be solved using floor line only. Okay, but some more complex data, you need to do some non-linear solution, for example, neural network. Okay? So that's why tomorrow you will learn more about deep learning. Okay, some of the application of classification like speech recognition, face recognition, character, medical, and so on. So these are more into image. Okay, this is the second type. Yang tadi itu is supervised. This is called unsupervised, in which dia training data dia tidak ada label. So meaning that you have just the data, then you say, okay, I'm using the clustering to cluster your data, and when you get new input, you can say that this is belong to which cluster only. So dia tidak ada class, dia cuma grouping based on dia punya karakteristik tu. So similar object with similar object with similar characteristic will be clustered in one group, in one cluster. Okay. So if I want to summarize that, okay, machine learning, you can do supervised learning, which involves integration and classification. You will cover this, and maybe tomorrow I can cover this one, just to show you the differences between supervised and unsupervised learning. Okay, you may stop me if you feel lost. I know dari punya mata pun mana sudah. Okay, so the most important part is, okay, machine learning is just a program. You have your data, and your data, whatever you want to do, depending on the task that you need to complete. Okay. Okay. So always remember that when you have your data and you need to train the model. So once you train the model, then you can do the testing, and then you compare between the prediction and also the actual output that we have. Then you can deploy, meaning that you can use that for your workload. So for example, in your workload, you have your new data here, and this is your non-target data. You train this neural network. Once you train them, you want to know what is the capability of your model. So testing phase is more into evaluating how accurate your model is. And then once you satisfy, then you can deploy, or you can propose to your jabatan that we can use this model to predict, or you can use this model to classify or forecast or cluster. Okay? So we are in the computer science. We study all this technique. So you are at this level now. Okay, so you may learn this, supervise, classification and regression, and maybe clustering. Okay, so this area only. I will cover one area di sini loh, multi-layer central, just to give you an overview what are the differences between this and this. And this are more advanced. Once you know the basic here, one here, then you can use this one. Okay? So machine learning is a big topic. So for us, we study all, because we want to find out what is the best solution, what is the best parameter setting to get the best output. When we say best output, is the predicted value are almost the same with the actual values. So we want to minimize the error. Okay? Okay. So for example like this, we start with this. So contohnya kalau your data is label data, yes, di sini kalau no, label data means you have a class level. You want to do classification, and you go here. Kalau tidak, you go here for regression, or you want to go here for clustering. So you go here and here if you don't want to do any classification. You go up here if you want to do classification. So these are the three things that you want to differentiate. Be able to do classification atau clustering atau regression. Okay. So contohnya, if I want to predict or detect any disease, what task is that? To detect any disease, so which one you want to use? Classify, regression, or clustering? Classification, because you train your model to do classification, got disease or no disease, so two classes only. Okay? But if you want to focus the growth rate of this fish, regression. Okay? So anything to do with numbers, you use regression because you want to focus the lifespan of garupa. Then regression. Okay. If you want to group the fish species based on dia punya karakteristik, if you want to group fish based on their own characteristic, clustering. So these are the three basic ones. Once you know how to differentiate what type of model you want to produce, then so this one is clustering. If you have label, if you do not have label, means you do grouping or clustering. You group them. Or if you want to focus, you do regression. So time series. Okay. So three models. Okay, so I assume that you know type of task that we can do in yes. Yang ini satu area lagi. Ini contohnya kalau you punya data is too many kan, so banyak column. Sometimes ada 1000 column, so you need to reduce it into 10. So you compress all of this become 10. So you use PCL. Or you want to do feature selection only, the most important feature, boleh juga. So in aquaculture normally, if you want to do modeling, you want to select important features, or you want to combine, or you want to create new features. This will increase classification, will increase the clustering quality. So this is just what we call it data pre-processing in order for you to improve classification, improve clustering. Okay. So ada PhD student, dia tengok sini sih, how can I create a new feature that can improve classification and clustering? So they propose, they collect data and they say, okay, I will combine this and this and this. So by doing that, because they say in the previous research, they only use this type of data. But in my research, I propose this, and I collected, I have compiled them, and I use PCA to compress them. Then when I do classification, I have better accuracy. So that contribution is more into here. Okay? But if you are in here, that means you apply the classification, but in your domain you just apply, you don't create. For us, we need to create because we are computer scientists. We cannot apply because if we apply, no new knowledge. Okay, but you guys can apply. but you contribute the technique using AI or machine learning to improve the output of your research. Okay. Any other question? So this is just to give you an overview what we have done with the government. This one we are working with pharma. We build this intelligent surveillance intervention and supply and demand of agri-food for the whole Malaysia. So we got this 8 million grant to do this project. So we have won a few medals. We also looking at FPL, in which we are trying to predict the health of the cattle. By looking at the movement, we pasang sensor the cattle too, and then how active they are, and then they are moving around, and also at the same time we look at the weight of the cattle across time series, so we would be able to predict the health of the cattle. So we work with Dr. Januarius and also the Hafiz Farm in Lada. This one also we look at the health of the body using images. So this one we are using the what we call it? Hyperspectral images using drone image. So they have 6 or 7 colors depending on what you want to extract. So they look at the how green the soil of the land and so on. So there are 6 colors. Okay, so using this we can locate which area you want to focus to increase the production by putting more baja. This one is we looking at how do we estimate the weight of the cattle, because for them to have a good feeding program, they need to push the cattle to the weighting scale and timber every 2 or 3 weeks, which cause the cattle which cause the cattle feeling stress lah. So every time susah lagi tu mau suruh dia baris lagi, tolak dia pergi scaling. So what we did, we take a photo from side and top, and then we timbang there. So every 2 weeks we come, then we do the same. We suruh baris, timbang, ambil gambar left and side and top. So from the gambar and also the weight, we can estimate the weightage of the okay. So based on the image, we can estimate the weight. Okay. So this one also we have won a few awards. Ini lama sudah 2021. This one with my colleague. So this is for the first recognition for we work with Cyber Security Malaysia, more into first recognition. This is the guy who will explain about image analysis. So dulu dia kurus, nanti tomorrow you will see the double the size lah. So dah kaya sudah kan jadi. So this is in Germany where we explain the technique that we use, and we work with Cyber Security Malaysia. This one in Korea. This is for the healthcare. Try to extract the structure of protein. Biodiversity. We look at the hyperspectral images also, looking at the carbon, the satellite image, the vegetation index, and the last one, there are 4 data. So 4 data we combine together to look at or estimate the carbon stock in the forest. This is similar to that. Okay, current AI project. So we are working with NCT, this is for the water quality. So we put sensor in the tank, and then we can monitor the quality of the water. So the fish can be transported, live fish can be transported and reduce the loss of fish by 20%. Okay, this one we work with one of the company in Singapore, implementing smart hospital in Tuaran and also in Belura. So this is supported by Sabah Madjaya, SMJ. Okay, so at the moment, my colleague Dr. Rainer Pailus will cover this one tomorrow. So he got some idea. So how do we detect disease? We also go into green energy, hydrogen. So how do we optimize the production of the hydrogen based on the mix of all the material needed? So this is the big machine that they have. This is the smaller machine. You need to wait for 4 or 5 hours to produce green hydrogen. Just this German guy said, okay, you need to come to my lab and to see how I produce the green hydrogen. Green hydrogen means you tidak pakai power or anything, just mix and then wait for 4 hours, and then this is the reactor. Now we'll produce the hydrogen. Okay. So welcome Dr. Julian. Sorry,
Good morning, bro. Sorry, let's skip.
Okay. So yang belum minum tu boleh minum, but while you waiting for Nick for the next one, I would like you to go to this area. So if you have connection, you can go to here. Any question?
Professor,
Yeah.
just now you mentioned about the one project about the image taking to estimate the weight of the boat.
Yeah, cattle.
Boleh tahu ada precision level itu
85%.
85%.
85% because the idea is we want to know what is the good feeding program, to know what is the best weight gain yang kita boleh dapat lah. So the whole task is to estimate the weight, and then based on the weight we adjust the feeding program. So berapa banyak kita kasih makan and what type of rumput yang kasih makan. So the output is that one, the feeding program. The weight estimation is just to assist to adjust the feeding program.
The weight is the big data lah kan.
Yeah. So our task is to optimize the feeding program so that we can use less makanan, but to increase the productivity of the cattle by having more weight gain. So the weight estimation is used to memudahkannya untuk timbang, and then in long term. So susah kalau balik-balik timbang nantinya stress kan? Memang jangan stres.
Ya, I think boleh apply dengan ikan juga.
Ya.
Ya.
Cuma ikan ni because when you take photo kan, you make sure dia
Betul lah.
lurus and same distance all the time, kan? Dia tidak boleh ambil jauh kah atau dekat. Dia boleh berenang jauh sikit atau dekat sikit, tapi that one will affect the size of the fish, kan? Kecuali kalau you detect kalau dia ada sensor kalau dia limpas sana, terus dia capture the image. Bila dia limpas di that distance saja, terus dia capture. Kalau sentiasa capture tu dia berenang dekat kah atau jauh kah, susah because tidak konsisten. Kan?
You mentioned about the big data kan, berapa besar the big data yang kita buat to get?
So, big data referring to the size, the volume, and also the type of data that you have. So, if you have big capacity of server, it doesn't matter. So you can store in your database. Now, machine are very cheap to get. Database pun okay, tapi the problem is when you have lot of images, when you want to do modeling, so you need to have GPU. So GPU is more expensive than your processor or your machine. GPU and up to 50,000 or 100,000. But now they have this new machine that produced by the creator of thumb drive, you know, the Malaysian. He come up with this server together with GPU and all the necessary machine for AI model. So that one, saya tanya berapa? Oh, for you guys 20,000 only. But they sold to Sabah punya ni, Jabatan Komputer Negeri Sabah for 250,000 one machine. So, but we have cooperation with them. They said, okay. I said, I thought free for us to do some use case. They said, no, 20,000 lah. So the issue is not the big data or the storage. It's the model that you want to use to process them. Because kalau you have million of data, it won't be able to produce good model. So you need to do some pre-processing, look at the size of the image, and also focus on that particular area. Because yang fish ni kan, you cannot get perfect image. Sometimes they are overlapping, sometimes the air tu dia keruh kan, sometimes dia jauh, and so on. Tapi with careful strategy, you can say, okay, when they limpas that area, then the camera will capture automatically. Okay, okay, now for those yang ada laptop tu, so what you can do, you can Google for R software. So they panggil R software sebab my name initial is R. So we look for this R software. This one. So if you see this logo, then you click. Then you click on this download R, and then depending lah, semua pakai yang pakai Mac. So if you go to this, then you can download this R. So this is the program. You can go to you can find any of this. Okay. Or you can go here. This one. And download app for Windows. This one, if you choose the first one, the first option. So there are many mirrors, so you can go to the whole cloud and then click. And if you click the download app, so install app for the first time, you will get this 4.4.2. And you can download it.
Bro, nanti yang apa kita download tu yang mana satu ni?
Free source. Okay? Zero. So you need to know your machine capability. You got big map on the floor. 4.42 up. So this is just the engine. So just the engine, and then we go for RStudio, because RStudio will give you more GUI environment.